Dearly beloved, we are here to mourn the loss of a potentially great game. Game of the year, in fact. 5 to 6 years we've been waiting for this to come into fruition. We've been waiting for the mechanics, the storylines, the potential lore dumps, but it was for naught. For this game has unfortunately left us wanting. If you start crying, I'm gonna cry, dude. So, let us have a moment of silence for the game that was Missing Link. Okay, we're done now.
Oh wow, that was a quick moment.
I said moment of silence, all right? So it finally happened. I didn't think it was going to happen, but I knew it was a possibility it was going to happen. That Kingdom Hearts Missing Link is no longer missing. It was found dead.
Well, I mean, maybe this is the ultimate, plan. Maybe this is the plan all along. It truly is the missing era.
Yeah, and it always will be. It's
it
like
always will be. We'll never
they
know.
burned down the Library of Alexandria, basically. All the lore we're going to get about Ephemer and Brain and Lushu and the Dandelions that went to other places, that's gone now. It doesn't matter. It never will matter, okay?
I don't know if I'd say that.
And no, it doesn't matter anymore.
I don't think it's gone. I think that
Burn
will
it.
come up.
Okay, but this isn't the first time. Okay, this is the first time a Kingdom Hearts game has been legit canceled outright. But Dark Road was 3 weeks, and then he said,
Yeah. Dark Road got the first chapter posted, and then was we'll get back to chapter 2 soon, and then never did, and then was you know what? We're just uploading all the footage.
Yeah, it's nah, because apparently we thought y'all liked Chain of Memories. So we thought you were Chain of Memories on the phone, but no, you just want your stupid lore. You're not gonna give us any money.
If Dark Road played Chain of Memories, the game would still be up.
I mean, didn't it have a card system?
It was a card system meets Union Cross system.
Oh, that's gross. That's disgusting.
It was really gross, and also there was an auto button where you just turn it on auto and it would just play the game for you. And it's why do I even have this down?
So you're not getting any money. No one's playing your fucking game. They're just gonna watch the lore videos on YouTube. So come on, what's the point? And this is why I was so doubtful about Kingdom Hearts Missing Link, because I don't see where the base was. You had big Kingdom Hearts fans gassing it up, and it might have been good. How are you gonna make money? Because you played Unchained, you played Unchained Key, and more or less, but you played it for what, a year or two or something like that.
I played it for a little bit, and then it would delete it, and then be oh, I miss Kingdom Hearts, and reinstall it, and then
exactly. It kept you coming back.
You kept coming back.
But it's still a video game experience where you're just you're waiting for the doctors, you're on your phone playing Kingdom Hearts Unchained Key. But Missing Link, you gotta go outside and find some shadows and fight a dark side in a raid battle or something to get lore, or I just don't get what the mindset was that this would work.
It's kind of cool in concept, and it could be interesting. I think especially with if it timed out correctly, I think it could have been cool conceptually of Kingdom Hearts 4 Sora is in this real world and is and then also you're in the real world, but I feel there could have been something there in a perfect scenario, but I think how you said it just very much feels like a game only real hardcore Kingdom Hearts people are gonna get into, and even then a lot of them are just gonna maybe play it for a day and then pull up the YouTube videos and to catch the lore. I mean, it's it's a Pokemon Go type game, but the thing is with Pokemon Go, number one, everybody watched that as a kid, on some, or you have some knowledge of it to be oh, let me see what the hype is all about. And then even if you had no idea what Pokemon was, it didn't require you to. It was just we're going around, we're catching these little dudes. This was gonna be in the trenches. You weren't gonna be a random person pulling up Missing Link and being okay, let me see what's going on here.
Yeah.
I've never played Kingdom Hearts before, or even played a couple of them, you'd still be so lost.
Well, say you played one, because a lot of people started Pokemon around like 3rd generation, Fire Red, Leaf Green, which is like the remix of the original. So they have like, you're right, they have and they watch the cartoon, so they have like a reference. Oh, that's a Pikachu, that's a Charmander. I want to catch those and just be my little friends. If you just play Kingdom Hearts 1, let's say you play Kingdom Hearts 2, and you play 3 and didn't know what the fuck was going on. If you just play the core games, you're still not going to know what the fuck is going on, because this is related to shit from another mobile game that, of course, they didn't play.
Yeah, this is like 3 mobile game generations deep in like a game that already has insane lore.
And an animated movie back cover.
Yes, and a movie. Like,
who the fuck besides us freaks are gonna watch and digest all that? It's not a casual experience, and like, because Pokemon is a casual experience, and even Japan, where that kind of stuff is like more profitable. I don't know what the fan base of Kingdom Hearts in Japan is. It's got to be somewhat high, but I just don't see the interest, because we're not here for the phone shit. We're here for the lore, and that's all we care about. Because of course it's to make money. No one makes a mobile game without wanting to make a shit ton of money on the loop. And unfortunately, they had enough bravery to say, okay, Union Cross is done, the lore is done, therefore the game's done, and we're going to move on. I wish I knew more about the background of it. Might get more later, revealing like the stuff that happened with it. If it was Nomura's idea, which I think it might have been, it explains some things, because Nomura without a handler will take 20 years to finish a game.
Yeah, I mean that is kind of the thing sometimes, even with some of our favorite creators. It's like somebody has to be the guy to be like, hey, we're not doing this, or like this is your limit.
Or
like,
we're pushing it. We're like pushing it through.
Yeah, we're pushing it through, or like you have to stop here, like to keep you on track. Like, and it's just like that's just the way that kind of stuff is sometimes.
Like that's how we lost versus 13, because it took between the trailer and I think the announcement where it was gone, it took like 10 years or something like that, and then became Final Fantasy 15 or something like that. I might be 100% correct, but we know it was taken from him. One of the reasons was he was taking too long with it, and now he's salty and putting it in March 4.
Yeah.
So it might be the same thing where it's like, because the last trailer we saw, everything looked pretty good. Everything looked pretty put together. We saw gameplay.
People played in the beta.
Yeah, people playing the beta.
So it was like functional to some level.
Yeah, so maybe they didn't have the server space for it because it's much more intensive than like Kingdom Hearts Union Cross, because you actually got to track people around the world with like satellites and internet and stuff.
You have to build it for the entire globe. Like,
yeah.
If I go down the street and there's no Heartless, like I'm uninstalling the game.
Yeah, I barely play Pokemon Go anymore because there's no stops around me. I think that kind of thing got taken into account, and he kind of didn't. I just want to know what the final straw was. What made someone say, okay, either release it now or we're not releasing it at all? And like, whose choice was that to either release it now or release it not at all? Because they could have released it and just fixed it later. If it was a broken mess, they could have fixed it later. But they had to know they weren't going to make money off it.
I don't really know all the real details or whatever. I've seen bits and pieces and speculation and stuff, and some of it I like have heard before. Because I believe Square Enix has done like financial business stuff recently in terms of like new people in charge or whatever. I know they did some stuff regarding that like in the recent years. I don't know exactly. I'm not really looking at that kind of stuff. But from what I've seen with that, sort of reorganizing and having new people in charge up top, and then also like what people are kind of speculating based on that is that, and based on I guess other things they've done with the business and other games, is that it's kind of one of those things where whoever is in charge maybe like kind of looked at it and was like, we're not going to make money off of this, or it's just like, what, we don't really know what the long-term plan for this is. So like we're shutting this down because it just doesn't make like business sense.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it would have been a temporary thing, supposedly directly related to Kingdom Hearts 4, because like there's important lore bits behind it. At least Kingdom Hearts Union Cross 1, it was like before Kingdom Hearts 3, so it gave us a little bit of leeway there, and then it wasn't directly tied into 3. It just gave us more lore about stuff in the past that we were interested in anyway, like with Xehanort and Scala and stuff. With this, I think it's so tied into what's going to happen in 4 that it's like, if when 4 is out, no one's going to give a shit about this anymore. Like, no one's going to come back to this. Like, once we have all the lore, what's the point of coming back to it? At least people who somewhat enjoyed Kingdom Hearts Key, I guess. I didn't. But.
Well, yeah, I mean, Union Cross and Key, like that finished well after 3. It is weird because it's like on the one hand, like you said, like it feels like it should tie into the game to make it worth it. But on the other hand, like Union Cross kind of didn't that much. Like,
yeah, it did.
You really didn't get that much. Like, I don't even know if they went to Scala in that before 3 came out. But
no.
Like, I don't remember. That felt pretty late.
I don't think they ever went to Scala. They only went to Scala at the very, very end of Union Cross when Brain and Xehanort Baby was there, and that's it. We didn't see a lot of it. It was like a street and like a corner of it, and that's about it.
Yeah, I think it's like vaguely like maybe Daybreak Town is Scala, but yeah, that's like no, you don't even get that until the end, and so the really only thing you get is like that scene in the Keyblade Graveyard when Ephemer shows up. And you're like, oh, that's Ephemer.
I know that guy.
That's it. You don't really know who, like, what he even does at that point, or like why he's there, even if you played Union Cross.
Like, I know that guy from back cover.
Yeah, I think it's just kind of was one of, where it's like, where does this go?
Like, the amount of money and effort he put into this has to outweigh the profit they would get from it. Okay, 7 to 9 years whenever we got the first announcement for it of work, because they did work on it the whole time, because we saw how almost done it was. When a new person takes over a company, of course shit's gonna go sideways, like sometimes really badly and sometimes kind of badly, and one thing they want to do is trim the fat, and this seemed like it was a good amount of fat to trim, because people want Kingdom Hearts 4. You're making them wait for Kingdom Hearts 4, allegedly, for this thing that it's not gonna make us any money, when we can just make Kingdom Hearts 4 and make a bunch of money.
It was announced in 2022. It got like, it kept being like, hey, we're doing a beta, and then not doing the beta, or then I think they did like 1 or maybe 2 closed betas, and so that's like, we're talking about over 3 years now since it was announced. I've seen some people say that it was being worked on since like 2019 or something. Maybe it has been worked on for 6 years, but even just the 3 years, it's like, you announced it 3 years ago, there hasn't even been an open beta yet, let alone an actual release. Are you going to get that amount of time out of it on the flip side?
No.
Because like you said, like, are people going to care about this after 4 comes out?
No.
Well, even if that game released today, are you going to get 3 years out of people caring about it? And if people got to wait 3 years from now for 4, we're gonna have issues.
Yeah,
we're gonna have huge issues. So we can't have both.
We would all like Caesar style kill this thing ourselves if it made it 3 more years Kingdom Hearts 4. We're not playing that game. We played these games before.
We have 3 years until 4. We're gonna January 6th the Square Enix office.
It is a blind side that this thing is just completely gone, like done with.
It is.
I think we'll get cutscenes, like the Dark Road.
I think we'll get something out of it. It would be nice to get cutscenes, or even just a movie, like back cover style.
Yeah.
It's just, here's this put together. Like, maybe they have to make some, like, finish some stuff, or like make some filler scenes to be like, you know, this is where you would have been running around playing the game, but, you know, here's just a cutscene of a guy, like, running around.
But you all suck and wouldn't pay for it, therefore, this is where you would have given us money to play the game, but you guys want your KH4 so bad.
So, sort of like the inverse of when a movie would have a video game, and they start adding in scenes that didn't happen in the movie to pad out the game. It'd be like the opposite of that. We're, like, we're trimming stuff and being like, oh, he just went over there, and...
Well, even 358 on 1.5 did that, where it was all the cutscenes, and then the gameplay sections like Sora went with Zigbar to Twilight Town, and they fucked some shit up, and Droxus went home butthurt. I don't know. At least make it worth it for us.
Yeah.
They can't make money off it because at least back cover that was with a remake of 3D. Now it's just got given us for free. Like, and Nomura would do that because he's not. I don't think he's money obsessed. He just cares about the art of it. Yeah, the art of it. Yeah. But the people who give him the money are like, "Oh, we're gonna make our money back." He's like, "Maybe."
I don't know. Not my department. Yeah.
Nope. You're not gonna have a department if you keep making us wait.
I do wonder what this means for Kingdom Hearts side titles and such.
No more mobile games. Burn them all. No more. They're done.
It seems
you
like
failed.
That trajectory.
You failed twice.
I mean, yeah. You look at Union Cross, and that got a full life cycle, but it felt like it felt like the end was kind of like, all right, here you go. You know what I mean? Like, We know most of you have stopped playing this at some point. Here's a million gems. Here's the final cutscene. There you go. And then Dark Road was here's the first chapter, and then we'll come back, and then did not come back, and then we're like, yeah, here's the entire rest of what this game would have been, and then now we're not even getting the game out, so it's like, okay,
three strikes,
it feels
you're
like
out.
This is it.
It just shows that it doesn't.
It's like you're not going lower than this.
Yeah, it shows it doesn't work. Kingdom Hearts Union Cross was won during a very bad Kingdom Hearts drought, so we were desperate for any bit of information and lore, and that was before 3 was even like a twinkle in our eye, I think. But now 4, they released a trailer for this with 4. What are we gonna be more excited about?
Yeah, Missing Link needed to come out like within like a year of that trailer coming out. Mm-hmm. Just like with the way that the mobile games are, it's like people will get into them because they're hype about Kingdom Hearts and they want to know what's going on, but they're not going to be like really that dedicated to it outside of that. If that game had come out within like a year of that trailer, especially, and like you said, that's the problem, is that trailer came out right next to Kingdom Hearts 4. When we had no idea that was next. Mm-hmm. That was a total shock. So it's like, oh, wow, we're getting this cool mobile game. Oh, we're getting the big game.
Yeah.
So it's like, we already don't care about that mobile game now.
Yeah.
So it's like, that has to be delivered in like a year or two. Because then if you deliver that mobile game within a year, then we're like, oh, well, let me check this out while I wait for 4. Mm-hmm. But now it's been 3 years, so now we're just waiting for 4.
Yes.
And it's like, that's like, it's like, we don't care about that.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think of the Square Enix timeline. Oh, shit. The devil hit my computer. So here I'm trying to think of the Square Enix timeline, because the year before last was Final Fantasy 16 time. Mm-hmm. That was their big tentpole product. Year after that was Final Fantasy 7 Remake Part 2 time, and then this year was, I think, supposed to be Kingdom Hearts 4 time, because next year is Final Fantasy 7 Remake Part 3 time. So they usually have one big tentpole a year, or at least that's the way it's been shaking out.
The last couple years.
Yeah. So I'm not going to say that completely that Missing Link is the reason Kingdom Hearts 4 hasn't came out yet. I do think the Missing Link was supposed to come out at most last year with the beta and everything. Like, I think they were gearing up and something just didn't happen, or something bad happened where they couldn't release it. And since this year it's supposed to be KH4 time, and maybe since Missing Link was kind of supposed to be an advertisement for 4 while making some money on the side, they're like,
right.
Like we said, now that 4 is supposed to be around the corner, how long is this game going to last once 4 is launched? And is it worth the money we've been putting into it? And it's not going to be. Because we're getting Kingdom Hearts 4, I'm going to say next year.
I hope so.
I hope so. Once we're done with the conversation, we can go to the new stuff they released. And that's why I think they were so tied together, because a second, or like, I guess the next 6 hours with him saying it's done, they're releasing new shit for Kingdom Hearts 4. It's like the floodgates opened and the drought's over.
Yeah, it's evident that they've been working on 4, and I think you're right that Missing Link was meant to like lead into 4, and you know, where you'd be playing that for a couple months and you'd start to release trailers for 4 as you're playing Missing Link. And I wouldn't say that, I wouldn't think that Missing Link is completely holding up 4, but I would believe that on some level maybe they haven't released as much as they were going to, because they were waiting for Missing Link to come out to start releasing more trailers or something. I think that's completely possible.
I think it's the other way around. Missing Link was supposed to be hanging on our wait for 4, like we said before. But since it's taking so long, and you can't delay 4, it's smart to say this mobile game is getting thrown in the trash so 4 can come out on time, where we're going to make the real money. I mean, come on. But I'm just wondering, how tied in was it? Because the only things we really know about it is that Brain is in it, and Lucio, there was a scene of Lucio being there, which may or may not just be the end or something like that. And like, how much does Scala stuff even matter anymore?
It's hard to say. I mean, because it seemingly would have closed the gap between Union Cross and Dark Road. It could be extremely important, or it could be like not really that important. Like, there's such a range of like how important the stuff in that could be. So yeah, it is one of those things where I feel like we're not going to know for a while, even if they like tell us something. Like, even if we get the stuff, even if they like tomorrow we're like, here's all the cutscenes, I don't think we'll really be able to know how much of that is like important until like maybe even beyond 4, to be honest.
Yeah, because I think it's definitely setting up for stuff even in post 4, because I think 4 is the beginning. It's the beginning of a new saga. however long that will
Yeah,
last.
yeah.
Because Nomura has talked about him retiring someday in the future. So what's on his mind? Because I don't think even we want Kingdom Hearts to go forever. Because there's an overarching story to tell. And that story, I think, needs an end for it to be worth it. I think all good stories need an end. I think all good things need an end. So, because I would rather Kingdom Hearts end than Kingdom Hearts get completely shit on.
I think at the very least it would have like a sort of, this is the end, this is when Nomura got off, this is the big final moment. Maybe if it makes $1 billion or something, then maybe they're like, all right, we're bringing in somebody new to make Kingdom Hearts 9 or whatever.
And I think the last Nomura game, Kingdom Hearts 7. So we get 3 more games after this one, baby. However the fuck that's gonna happen. Because no, 4 isn't the last one. 4 is not the last one. They would tell us if it was. So we're at least getting at least 2 more. And Nomura and his number 7 has to be the last Nomura one. Nor would be 90 on like life support, still like designing a new Sora outfit. Okay, yeah, so yeah, fuck Missing Link, we don't care anymore, it's dead. But again, like we talked before, we got new pictures for Kingdom Hearts 4. So this is a picture we got. It looks pretty rad. Definitely more updated since we last saw the game, like, again, 3-4 years ago. So, again, they have been working on it. They weren't slaving over Missing Link and then going to make 4. So if we look here, we got a better render of Strelitzia, okay? I don't know what the fuck people are going crazy about this phone. Have we seen a phone in Kingdom Hearts besides, like, the iPhone Sora has? Phone? Yeah.
That's what was weird, actually. I was thinking about it, I was like, it's kind of weird to imagine Sora using a phone. But I'm like, well, he used the gummy phone. But that's barely. So, like, it's so abstract. Yeah, he doesn't know what he's doing at all. And it's so abstracted because it's like, yeah, it's a phone, and yeah, it's like based on a smartphone, but it's just a little, like, device that he, like, looks at. And, like...
Brother, I can't even work a rotary phone.
No, but yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Is like it's so much more of a real phone, like a real item. Even though it's like, what is that doing there? And it's also, why is that picture there? Like, why wouldn't they?
It's
like they picked what pictures to put there.
Like, hey guys, we bought this phone off the Epic store. It looks really cool, so we wanted to show you with the new engine.
It's not just because they have a little bit of space there.
Yeah,
because they could have put something else there.
Put Donald and Goofy there,
or just the logo or something. Like, I don't know. Like,
yeah, there is no wasted space. Nomura doesn't waste space. He wastes time, but he does not waste space. And then we have Mickey. I think we're gonna play as Mickey.
Yeah, that's Mickey there with the command menu.
Yeah, and he's most likely in Scala looking for Sora because that was his mission to go find Sora. Yeah, because. The Wayfinder trio is going to the World of Darkness to find Sora. Don and Goofy are going to the Underworld to find Sora. Riku is going to Scala to find Sora. Kyrie's training with Aqua, doing something, not helping. And Mickey was going to Scala Asylum. It reminds me of the Hollow Bastion Library in a way. There's a connection there. There has to be. Come on. Like, at least, like, just... bring it for us. But I'm happy we're going to play as other people, or it's confirmed we're playing at least one other person, because I think we're going to play as more than Sora. I think we're going to play as Riku. I think we're going to play as Mickey. I think we're going to play as everybody who's looking for Sora, or at least like one of every crew looking for Sora.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
That'd be fucking rad as shit. Because yeah, we like playing Sora, but aren't all the hype moments where we take a break from Sora and play as someone else for a little bit? Like in 2, we had that little Riku section. In 3, Remind, we had all those fights playing as the other characters. Like, come on, like it's cool to play as other characters.
I think you could do something really interesting with that if, like, almost sort of parallel to like the Roxas opening in 2, but instead of that, it's like, you know, day 1 of Sora in Quadratum, yeah. And you play as Sora for the day, and then when you go to bed in the apartment, then it like switches, and now you're like, maybe you're Mickey in Scala, and you do your mission as Mickey looking for Sora, and then it goes cold, or, you know, you get to where he gets to, and then you go back to Sora. Now you play Sora as day 2, and then when you go to bed, you're playing as like Riku and wherever he's at, or Aqua or Kai, like, or something. You cycle through them, and then you go back to Sora doing his day, and then you go back like that. I don't know, that could be kind of. I
do think Sora will be the major vessel we play through. I do think we'll have breaks because we still gotta do the work. I mean, again, 4 is such a mystery because I don't know if we're even getting worlds in this thing, because the point of the game is Sora is in another world he can't escape from. Where does the Final Fantasy Disney stuff come in? Like, is Sora not going to experience any of that? Is that everyone else's stuff to experience? Like, is Terra, Aqua, and Ben going to go to Star Wars?
That could be a case. Like you said, we saw Donald and Goofy going to the underworld, so we could see, like, that could be a possibility that everybody else goes to these Disney worlds.
So then we have the new badass Darkseid design getting shot with what I guess is maybe a shot lock in a cutscene. We've seen him use shot lock in cutscenes before, so it's not like it's irregular for that to happen.
Do you think perhaps that those are 2 different people's beams?
Could be, because one's yellow, one's blue. So one's Sora, and one is maybe Yozora's. His attacks were blue when they were undodgeable, or unblockable.
That is true. Could it be Strelitzia?
Depends if she still has the power to Keyblade or not.
I mean, that could be the part of the thing, is maybe like Sora kind of gets his power back, and
he has to reset. He has to reset.
Yeah. Oh, yes. That's the thing. That's what I was gonna say. Is of course he has to reset back to level 1, because there's always a canon reason to why you're playing as level 1.
And this middle image, I don't know what to make of. It looks good. I wonder what the context is.
Yeah. I have no idea. He's in a parking garage somewhere.
Yeah, it's giving Final World Star kind of thing. But it looks like he's either in a parking garage or I think he's under an overpass. Is what he is. Yeah. So I don't know what's going on there. But then the next image is our boy Sora looking more anime than he ever has.
HD.
Yeah. Like they
got his ass in 4K.
Like, at least in like the first 1 or 2 games, they made Sora kind of a mix of Disney and Final Fantasy. Like, he was like a cartoon character. But now he's a real anime boy. Especially to cut his hair in his sleep.
Yeah, his hair's like the flattest it's ever been.
Honestly, it looks like Cloud's hair, only like more parted down. Well, this world is quote unquote more realistic, therefore he's gonna look this way. But I wonder if this is like his just new look forever.
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen some people say that I don't know if this is put out there or if this is just speculation, that like this is just his quadratum design because he's in this like real world. And when he goes back to a Disney World, or when he gets into a Disney World, he will look more like the Kingdom Hearts 3 Sora.
Yeah, but again, like
cartoonish look.
How would he go to other worlds if he's stuck in Quadratum?
Yeah, I don't know.
And he doesn't have a gummy ship or anything. Are they going to drive there, Final Fantasy 15 style? That'd be cool. And is your party Strelitzia and someone else besides Donald and Goofy, or are you just playing solo?
That's a great question. And I mean, that middle image at the bottom does make me think that maybe that's the sort of like, the light flashes through and now he wakes up in a different world.
It's a portal.
Yeah, well, and he's like, is this a dream? Because that's a thing that's like kind of been going on since the first game. Is like, am I dreaming, or like, is any of this a dream or not? Or is any of this for real or not, or whatever? It's like, I can see this paralleling sort of the opening of Kingdom Hearts 1, where it's like, in that game, you go around Destiny Islands and you're in the dive to heart and you're fighting this Darkseid, and you're like, what is going on here? I think this is going to parallel that, especially because it's supposed to be a new jumping on point to some degree. And it's like Sora in this city, and then there's these shadow demons and this weird new photorealistic Darkseid. And it's like, what is going on here? And why does this seem familiar? Sort of like a mix of the opening of 1 and 2.
Yeah, because every band game starts with a Darkseid fight. Because even 3 did with that kind of fake one that didn't really matter. Or at least like, okay, 2 had the Dark Thorn fight.
Twilight Thorn.
Yeah. But it was basically a nobody Darkseid. So it's like, hey, Sora, if you go under the overpass by next past a homeless camp, you can get the treasure planet. You want to go there?
Yeah.
Is Sora going to experience the homeless? I mean, there's not a homeless in Japan. He's not in LA. And then like a horse to top image, which has the most to talk about, is like basic gameplay. Because we have these quote maybe new Neo shadows, because the Darkseid gets a redesign. Why doesn't every Heartless get a redesign now? And of course, like the main one people talk about is the last command, which is build.
Yeah, I don't know what that.
I think it's a new limit command.
Yeah.
Because I think it's going to mix drive forms, limit commands, and keyblade transformations. Because in the original trailer, we saw him build a huge ass drill to fight the dark side. So I think also he has chains. We've seen only masters use chains. So that's one thing.
Yeah.
But he's also, if you look at his feet, he's like free floating on them.
Oh yeah, from a Dream Drop.
Yeah, so can we make our own path? That'd be rad as hell. Or maybe there's like a predetermined path that's part of a, quick time reaction or something.
Yeah, I mean he does. I think in that first trailer he does some stuff with the key chain on the Keyblade, and so I guess this is like an extension of that, and maybe that build is part of that, or like you said, it's like building some kind of path or something for him to fly around.
Also, if the Keyblade still works, he has to be somewhat connected to Kingdom Hearts still, I would think.
Yeah.
Like I know that's not like canon, that's how it works, but that key, at least his key is very special. Him and Mickey's Kingdom Key D, because they're tied to the World of Light and the World of Dark. And if the Keyblade is still like functional, there's got to be some power it's drawing from, even though he's in another universe.
He's got to know that something's not right. Like
100%.
It kind of feels like he's got to know it's not like an amnesia situation, and so you got to assume he's like trying to get out of here.
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah, he definitely doesn't have amnesia because he knows that that's the dark side and he kick its ass, and he draws out Keyblade instinctually. He might not remember his fight with Yozora. Maybe he doesn't remember that. Maybe he just remembers like dying and waking up on Celestia's couch with no money to pay rent.
Yeah, maybe she just scooped him.
Yeah, she scooped him. Oh, it's a good question though. What happened after he was frozen by Yozora? Because I'm pretty sure that's the canon ending. Yozora kicked his ass and froze him. Because that's what happened to everyone their first time, so I'm pretty sure that's canon.
Yeah, and they're
not you, because you haven't fought him yet.
I fought him.
Oh, okay. You haven't beat him yet.
I've got the canon ending.
Oh, multiple times, I assume.
Hundreds. Maybe. I'm just so dedicated to the truth.
Yeah, luckily I won my own headcanon ending. Kingdom Hearts 4 is the biggest mystery to me. Because we knew where 3 was going. Because DDD gave us the direct path to what's going to happen in 3.
Yeah, there's a lot building up to 3 with DDD and Birth by Sleep, and 3 was very much like the culmination of everything. So we knew very much where it was going. This one, not a lot heading into this one.
Because even with 3 was the end of an era in terms of like. It was like a time capsule almost, because Disney has changed a lot since even Kingdom Hearts 2 and DDD. Like they have lots of Marvel properties, lots of Star Wars properties, lots of new animated movies, remakes of animated movies. They might bullshit in there somehow. More Final Fantasy characters to pull from now, because like there's been like 3 games since then. So it's just the biggest mystery, and I kind of like that. I kind of like not knowing what to go in. I don't know what to expect anymore, and I think it's a good thing, because I think part of the problem with 3 people had is that there was so much expectation, because we were fed so much information that we could just headcanon off of. But now we have almost nothing to go off of, and that's like a good thing. That brings back the mystery that was basically in 1 almost.
Yeah, it feels pretty wide open with this one, and that is a lot of fun, because it's like we have no idea what any of this is going to be, what is going to be important that's been brought up, or what's going to be kicked down the road. Yeah, it's exciting to see where any of this goes.
We gotta be more prepared for a trailer, because I think, like I said, I think the floodgates are open now, where they gotta make up for lost time, being like, hey guys, Kingdom Hearts 4 is still coming. There's still stuff coming, because like you don't want the last news to be for a while bad news about a game being delayed, because that puts a bad taste in everyone's mouth. Like even though it's just missing Link, and no one, I'm not gonna say no one cared about it, but it wasn't like the biggest thing people were waiting for. I think they're getting a pass. But it's still like a bad mark on their record, even like especially after Dark Road.
Well, yeah, it was shocking, I think, that to a lot of people. I mean, they've had stuff get canceled or deleted before, but a lot of that was so like inconsequential, and was like weird mobile games that nobody heard about and that like never came back up, or like stuff like that like you really have to be in the weeds to even know about. This is big, like, you know what I mean? Like this felt like this is the first big step towards 4. And it was like, okay, there's gonna be all this lore, and it's gonna answer questions from a whole era that we don't know anything about, and like it's gonna get us from this old ancient time that we had time with for like 5 years in that one mobile game, all the way up to present day essentially, or like to when Xehanort was born. It's gonna fill in all that gap and answer all these questions, and felt very shocking for them to delete something like that in the modern era.
Yeah, again, I wasn't heartbroken. I was like, oh shit, they did it. I guess they're getting serious.
Yeah.
I guess they're getting serious now. No more bullshit. No more bullshit. And I just hope it's a lesson they learn. Someone had to learn this lesson. Either Nomura did, or the person pushing the phone game stuff did, or even Square Enix did. Someone needed to learn this lesson of, I don't think Kingdom Hearts is the property to do this with anymore. Eden Cross was a lightning in a bottle that faded away, and you failed twice after that. Because of course they want to make money. Like companies want to make money. I'm not disparaging them for wanting to make a phone game to make themselves some money. Because fucking Rockstar.
That's expected.
Yeah, Rockstar did that with GTA Online, and they raised $2 billion to make GTA 6. I don't hate microtransactions, especially in phone games where it's kind of the purpose. I don't see the money in it. Like if I was head of Square Enix, I'd be like we said before, how is this going to make us money in the long term? Because that's what phone games are supposed to do. It's not going to be a Genshin Impact where people are going to want to spend $20,000 pulling a Donald Duck. It's just going to be, like you said, intermediary, but it's too late for that. Like we've been starved for both Kingdom Hearts 4 and Missing Link news. So now we just want Kingdom Hearts 4 now, sooner than later. So Kingdom Hearts Missing Link had to go.
And I think the thing that I kind of thought was going to happen after 3, maybe now will hopefully happen, is it seems like we're in a new era for side titles, because before 3, you had the first game was on the PlayStation 2, which is maybe probably the most popular game console of all time. Mm-hmm. But then Chain of Memories is on the Game Boy, and then Days is on the DS, and Birth by Sleep is on the PSP. It's all these weird little consoles you had to have to play all these
PSP for
games.
BBS.
But that's just not really how video games operate anymore. There's not a bunch of random handhelds anymore.
That's true.
It's PlayStation, Xbox, and the Switch, and PC, and then phones. Yeah. Because the phones have replaced your handheld, whatever.
Handheld gaming, at least the way it was when the DS and Game Boy were out, are dead. Your handhelds are your Switch, your Steam Deck, or your phone. You're correct on that. But if you're making a game for the phone, now you need to make money off it, because no one's gonna pay for a phone game.
And I think my thing was, what I was hoping would happen after 3, especially once it launched on, or I don't think it launched there. Whatever, it got over to the Xbox, and
it did launch on Xbox.
On the Switch.
It did launch on Xbox.
Okay, yeah. And I think it's maybe the other collections later got added to the Xbox.
Yeah.
And they added all that to Switch eventually. It kind of felt like the era now should be main numbered games, and then side games that are on the consoles. And it can be a cheaper, shorter game, kind of like how the Miles Morales Spider-Man game is shorter than the main one. It's a little here you go, do this, something like that, where it's play as Roxas, or or play as a Birth by Sleep 2. That is my vision for Kingdom Hearts post 3, where it's you don't have to go buy a 3DS to play the game that leads into the next big one. They're just all on all the consoles, or at least the big one. Even if it was just PlayStation and Xbox, because I get it, because Switch is weird and small.
And PC.
Yeah, and PC. That feels like that's how it should be, and hopefully maybe that's where we go from now. If they're going to continue, if they're going to do, I imagine they still do weird side title stuff to tell those other stories.
Look at Melody of Memories, right? That was the most important game in the world. It wasn't important to the last 15 minutes, but it was a cutesy, fun game to play and try to platinum and stuff. And it was a good little appetizer. We just want to be fed. We don't like being in the dark for years. People complain about the timeline between 2 and 3, but we had 4 games in between there that were very important to the story. They weren't Kingdom Hearts 3, but it's those are very important to what 3 became.
Yeah, you needed to have.
Yeah, and you're right, because 3 almost set up a bunch of other games, Mickey going to Scala, the Wayfinder trio going to the World of Darkness for BBS 2, or Donald and Goofy going to the underworld. It's almost like I might almost prefer that, because if 4 is just Sora's story and say it doesn't end, say at the end of that he's still in Quadratum, and then the side games are the other people finding ways to bring him back, and slowly and surely they find a way, and in Kingdom Hearts 5 everyone just finds him, comes in and brings him back, or something like that. So they do have it's not like the well is dry for ideas for like side projects, so we wait in between games. There's still stuff there. Yes, it's more expensive than making a phone game. Well, maybe not Missing Link. We're not picky. I wouldn't say Kingdom Hearts fans are picky in terms of what we get.
No.
Recoded sucks. That's the one thing I'm like, no, you shouldn't have released that.
Yeah, don't do that. Well, that's the other thing. I almost felt too like they would not do quite as much gimmick games either after that, because it kind of felt like that's why the games were so gimmicky, is because they're on like these weird handheld things, and you need to like do some of that. But BBS wasn't really. I mean, that was played pretty much like a straight Kingdom Hearts game.
Yeah, it had the command deck, but like
but that felt like any different between like 2 and 3. You know?
It wasn't like 358 with the panel system.
That was awful.
Or
that's awful.
3D with whatever the fuck they were trying to do with that.
The Dream Eaters.
The Dream Eaters and
the cards and
the link commands and everything. Yeah, it was crazy. Again, if Square Enix, if you're listening to us, which we of course know you are, you're big fans of our content.
Yeah.
We think they should go back to bullshit middle games, like a Melody of Memories, or like a Final Fantasy turn-based game of the Wayfinder Trio and World of Darkness. They can still be creative, because again, we're not picky. As long as you give us the feed us drops of lore, we'll play a phone game. Well, one phone game. 3 phone games is a little too much for us.
No. For me, in the ideal world, you get Birth by Sleep style games between the main titles. Just because they play like the main, and that's what I prefer. But, you drop a Melody of Memory between every game, I will be there for it.
Well, I mean, the Miles Morales comparison is perfect, because that was our in-between to Spider-Man 2, which is very important to the sequel game.
Yeah.
I think more games should do that, to where we're not waiting 5 to 6 years for a sequel title. Give us a little bit of something in the middle that's like a 6-hour game, and we'll play it, and we'll be satisfied because it gives us a little bit of story for it. And that's where I think Kingdom Hearts needs to go. I just want to know if this cancellation will affect it positively or negatively, because like this is a L.
Oh, yeah.
Even though we're appreciative of it, it's a big L on Square Enix's part. Whose ever idea it was mostly on, they took an L. I'm not gonna say I'm worried about it causing issues. I'm just saying, like, is this like a one-time thing where it's like, hey, we worked on this a lot, it's not gonna go anywhere, I think we should just cancel it? Or is it like, what's the series even turning into anymore? Like, why do we need these phone games that are not bringing us any money? Nomura, why is this so important? Again, it might not even be Nomura's idea. Like, because Square Enix is very much like, we want to make money off phone games and shit, so Nomura make a phone game. I don't want to put I don't know who to blame on this, but Nomura is just the only person I know in my head who I can name.
Yeah, it's definitely a important point, I think, in the series, where it feels like things are going to be different from here forward. And I think even if it's for the better, even if it is like exactly what we want, where 4 comes out next year and then we get a Birth by Sleep Miles Morales type game after, and then we get 5 or whatever, like, I mean, like you said, either way it's an L, because you took 3 years since the announcement. Who knows how long they've been working on that game for it to not even come out? That is an L.
Who knows how much money they put into it?
Yeah, who knows how much money and time, like, and all that could have been developing something that you put out, like. Now, obviously, they didn't think that they're going to cancel the game when they were working on it, but...
I mean, I think 2 years in without, like...
At some point, it's got to look rough.
Like, they didn't decide this 2 days ago. I think this was in talk.
No.
This was in talk. I think there were some threats being like, can you get this out before we have to cut it?
Yeah.
And you gotta call your bluff.
But yeah, I think even if we get the perfect result after this, where it's everything we want coming out after this, I think we'll look back at this and go like, yeah, that's the reason. Is because this failed, and they were like, we can't do the mobile games anymore.
And I think that's
what pushed them to stop.
I think that's for the better, honestly. Because again, Union Cross was a great experiment. Again, it was another wacky way to get a game and lore out. But now that well is dry, So now I want them to get more creative with how they want to tell this story, besides just mainline games. And I know they can do that. And now that this outlet is hopefully just out the window at this point, now they got to get really creative with how they're going to continue this story, like, again, in between main titles, which I do think they're going to do. I think we'll get another Melody of Memories type game, maybe another 358 game, because there's still a lot to explore. Hell, they could maybe down the line after 4 make a Missing Link console game.
Oh yeah. Well, that's one of the things I've thought about is like, why not, instead of doing a phone game, do like a console PC MMO, like a DC Universe Online
Because
type of thing.
phone games make money.
No, I know that. Yeah, and I think we're kind of past the MMO era. Maybe.
Yeah.
It just, in terms of like, that feels like that would be the play style for this like audience. I can sit down and grab my controller and run around and see a million other people with their Keyblade wielder, and like that feels like what this should. And it's in the Unreal Engine, like 3D characters and not the weird 2D graphics, whatever.
Yeah.
That feels like this is where we should have been.
I just thought of a great concept. Pay me $1 million for Nomura. Kingdom Hearts hero shooter. The Americans have one. The Chinese have one. It's time for the Japanese to step up for a hero shooter. Terra is a tank. Mickey's a strategist.
Yeah, Mickey's a strategist.
Axel is a duelist, of course. Donald is a strategist, but he's got Zeta Flare as his ultimate, which wipes out the entire fucking opposite team. Goofy's ultimate is to like zoom to defend multiple of his team from attacks. Like, you can't hurt the team because the Goofy's so fast. He's blocking all their attacks. I'm almost silver. I'm 1 win away from silver. I might wait for those chrono cards, even though people say they're bullshit. That last game almost took me down. We won by a millisecond. But Marvel Rivals is alive for now. Missing Link is dead. So as we end this, we give one final prayer. It's in the final world now, hanging out with Cherthi and the ghost of Yozora's maybe girlfriend, and the other many dead children up there. And you gotta think, right? Because now there are even more dead children, because there were children in Skyline Kylum, and now they are also dead. More Dream Eaters.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's just more Dream Eaters.
Blessed up. See you guys for the trailer when it comes out, probably tomorrow, knowing our luck.